Boom. Keep him coming.
What's going on, everyone? Bobbybarks here, and welcome to the Round 3 roundup video for Quarter 4's 1v1 tournament. Just going to show you a few games here, some of the highlights from Round 3. First up is Pasha 1, 2, 3 for the lovely headshot there on Quarter 1 Heartthrob. Everyone's favourite son, Doc Sosa. Yes, Doc Sosa came back in Quarter 4 after that dubious elimination in Quarter 1. But he's back here, getting through to round 3, won his first 2 games, but he's come up against a very in-form Pasha here, who has been a player within this tournament in the 2v2 and the 3v3. But here he is, taking part in the 1v1 for the first time, I do believe, and having a really good game with the hunting rifle up against Doc Sosa. As you can see, those headshots with the HR are on point, and he will be a formidable opponent for anyone that goes against in the later rounds. So round 3 we say goodbye to Mr. Sosa, and people will be worried about drawing Pasha in round 4. Next up we have Bet Chris versus Ivan Qrow J8. Hope I've said that right. Just going to watch it from Bet Chris's point of view. This was a very good burst rifle game. Both players very adept with that rifle, and a lot of corner shooting went on. I think they must have agreed to some sort of FN rules, because I didn't see any throwables, and neither player put armor on. But this was certainly a very skillful game from both players. Bet Chris and Ivan was going toe-to-toe. The scores was fairly close going into the second half of the game. As you can see there, nice burst rifle headshot from Ivan. And the scores here were at 15-14. Fortunately for Chris, though, just after the halfway mark, he gets a nice headshot here on Ivan. And he doesn't really look back after that. Progresses very well here with a 2 spawn lead going into the last 5 minutes. Watch this for a lovely bit of play. Teasing Ivan to come out. Lining up his shot, getting that pre-aim ready. Gets in one shot and then comes in, finishing him off. It's here where he gets a 3 spawn lead, and that lead just keeps extending and extending. Bet Chris will move through to round 4. As you can see, the scores here 14-6. Went on a nice rampage, as it's called in TLOU factions. And with a minute to go, this was probably my favourite shot of the game. Bet Chris here just lines it up nicely and gets that long range 1 burst. Great play from Chris. Another formidable opponent going into round 4. Janis Maiden versus Savile Sexy Time was a game that was submitted to me by Star Charms, who was the admin for this one. Janis has been somewhat of a admin favourite. A lot of the admins who have been watching him in his rounds 1 and round 2 want to claim him as their own. They think he's going to go all the way. He completely stomped his opponents in round 1 and round 2. And as you can see here, with just a little under 3.5 minutes to go, he's got a nice 6 spawn lead. But things get a little bit difficult for him here. There's a nice bomb comes in from Savile, and he pulls it back to within 5 spawns with 3 minutes to go. You'd think that things would be all over, but Savile plays quite smartly. Janis's situational awareness wasn't on point there. And here there is some throwables coming in, trading smoke bombs. Then Savile comes in with that Molotov. In within 3 minutes and a half to go. Things were getting really, really tense. And I've been in these situations as a 1v1 player. And I can tell you that your palms start sweating, particularly in Janis's situation. 2 spawns in it, a minute to go. Nice smoke bomb from Savile, and we are in with 1 spawn now. Great comeback from Savile, and this is the final moment. Is he going to pull it back to within a tie, or is Janis going to steal the victory? Nice that Janis doesn't go running and hiding, and then some great variable rifle play to finally take that win. Karmatic Assassin versus Daniel 12, the rematch. Those of you that have been following this tournament since the early days will remember that these two came up against each other in quarter 1, both losing semi-finalists. They played against each other for that 3rd place playoff, and Daniel 12 came out on top. Karmatic hasn't really been seen much in the tournament since then. He did take part in quarter 2, but he went out fairly early to quarter 1 finalist Sup 3 man. But he's back here in quarter 4. He's got through to round 3, and Daniel 12 is a very, very good burst rifle player normally. Things started pretty evenly here. We were surprised to see Karmatic with a hunting rifle and not the bow that he normally plays with. And after 3 minutes, things were fairly tight here. Neither player wanting to give much away to the other. Karmatic trying to keep his distance. Probably the best play here against Daniel, and that was a great headshot that he got. And Karmatic then went on to increase that lead. Daniel kept switching out his weapons. As you can see here, he's now switched to a bow, which is quite ironic given who he's playing against. And then I think towards the end of the game, he actually switched towards a hunting rifle as well. We're going to see one more play here before the final showdown. Karmatic trying to get those headshots, and he does there with some nice quick scope with the HR. And it will be Karmatic that goes through to round 4. It was probably the highlight game of this particular round. Certainly the one I was looking forward to. And it didn't disappoint. Nice dance shiv from Daniel there as the game closes out. Surprising how much of a lead Karmatic had. Next up, we're going to see Resthour versus Beast Mode. This was another game that surprised me quite considerably to see Resthour playing with the burst rifle. Is normally a very accurate bow player, but probably seen that burst rifle players tend to do better than any other weapon specialists in these games. All 3 quarter winners so far have been using the burst rifle, and Resthour is somebody who desperately wants to win. As you can see here, as we enter the second half of the game, he's up by 3, and this was a nice down that he got there, helping him pull away a little bit from Beast Mode, who's wearing an American cap, so I'm assuming he's an American player. Nice dodge of the one-hit stick there. And Resthour increases his lead to 6 spawns with 2 minutes to go, and books his place in round 4 quite comfortably. Shame to lose Beast Mode so early in the tournament, very much like I did with Daniel 12. 2 good players going out in round 3. But top play from Resthour. Next up, we're going to show Duncan versus Supreme War 90. Both these players have played in previous quarters. Duncan is one of the tournament's favourite sons. Everybody loves Duncan. He had a bit of a break in quarter 3, but he got to the quarterfinals in quarter 1 and the semi-finals in quarter 2. I'll be hoping to go one step further in this quarter, as it goes up against Supreme War 90, who was done pretty damn well in the previous quarters. He's also taken part in the 2v2s and the 3v3s. Very good hunting rifle player, and it's those type of players that Duncan normally struggles with. This one was fairly close going into the last 5 minutes. As you can see, Duncan struggling a little bit, only a 2 spawn lead. That Molotov right there increases it to 3. And it gave Supreme War too much of an uphill task of trying to get back into it with very little time left. A lot more throwables being thrown there, and another Molotov from Duncan after evading Supremes. And we're going to see some nice dance movements around the bookshelf here, and a great shiv from Duncan. Minute to go, 5 spawns up. He's going through to round 4. Next up, we're going to see Belphegor 2002 versus the Pizza Rage. There's not many people in the factions community that I have a crush on, and it's certainly not the 15-year-old Colombian. It is the Pizza Rage. I absolutely adore her streams. I think she's absolutely brilliant. But here she is up against one of FN's greatest players in the current climate. Belphegor 2002 is an exceptional individual with this variable rifle, and there'll be one player that will go very, very far in this tournament. That last 9mm bullet landing the headshot and taking that execution. He is up by 4 going into the last 8 minutes, and look at that fire rate with the variable. Poor old Pizza Rage didn't stand much of a chance. Those headshots through the smoke there. Absolutely ridiculous play from Belphegor. Nice evade of the throwables, and watch these for some nice shots. Absolutely amazing. We've seen some formidable plays so far in this rounded video, but I don't think anyone can match the quality of Belphegor so far. And it's shown there he's not afraid to go a little bit scrubby either for an FM player, which is very, very important. A lot of the FM players try to remain pure in this tournament, and it's always to their disadvantage. Belphegor showing that he's great with a variable, the 9mm and the El Diablo, and as you can see there, he's got a helmet on as well, so he's not afraid to buy armour. This next game from Tonetta and Damn It's Sammy was probably the best game of this round. You won't find 2 players going up against each other who were quite as good as what these 2 are. It's a shame that we've lost one of them so early in this quarter. Watch these corner shots there. Look how quick those headshots were there for Sammy. Tonetta is renowned as one of the best players in the FN community right now, and as you can see, this is the reason why. I do think these 2 had some sort of agreement before the game to play it FN rules only. You don't see any armour or throwables, only burst rifle corner shots. And whilst we like to see a little bit of scrubbery in this tournament, I don't mind seeing this type of play as well. Tonetta, as you can see, with the clock left and the current spawn score, and while Sammy put up a strong fight against one of the community's finest, he did fall a little bit too short, and despite being a formidable player himself, Tonetta was just too strong in the end, and it is Tonetta that will go through to round 4. The last encounter between these 2 suitably ended in a double down situation. Great play from both players. Special thanks to Sammy and a great shout out to him there, top player. But it is Tonetta who will be in the draw for the next round. Up next is the godfather of the community himself, Sancho West, against Crimson Hawk. who is a Japanese FN player and is exceptionally accurate with that semi. Sancho certainly had his work cut out for him in this one, going down 3 spawns in the first couple of minutes. Did his utmost to try and get back into this, but Crimson is just far too strong of player. And as you've seen from the highlights of these games so far, we have some exceptionally skilled players in this quarter. These players progress through the rounds and go up against each other. We're sure to have some great games indeed. Sancho did his utmost to try and get back into this in the first third of the game, but Crimson, despite being an FM player, is not one of those purists. He's prepared to wear armour and throw Molotovs. Sancho switched to his trusty frontier rifle as we approach the final 9 minutes, but I'm afraid that wasn't enough to save him. As you can see, 6 spawns down, and in the end it was all kinds of trouble for Sancho as he went out 11-0.
Right.
Final game to show you then comes from Nick30.
I wanted to get medkit and supplies, and
We
now
did allow Nick to stream this game. He did come to me privately and ask if it was okay, because I'm all about those views and that YouTube money, of course. I thought that this would direct more traffic towards the tournament. No, I'm only kidding, guys. It was just great to see somebody like Nick streaming the game.
Like, you know what I mean? People think that's disrespectful.
And I knew he was playing against a very good player, Qrow, I think it's pronounced. I'm not quite sure. But I do know that the player Nick is playing was in the 3v3 tournament and was exceptionally accurate with the hunting rifle. So seeing Nick play with the hunting rifle, it was going to be interesting to see how these two went up against each other. And things were fairly close. Nick switching out
not
to
letting
use
me
a
get enough time. I got to start taking the shots.
Launcher,
this is where it gets intense.
which you don't often see in the 1v1 tournament. I think I've only seen it once
the commentary isn't taken away from my
throughout
skill.
the entire year. So it was interesting to see Nick pick that as a purchasable.
He's going to get very impatient now, so he's going to make mistakes.
As you can see from the scoreline, Nick is up by 3, and this was one of my favourite encounters in the whole tournament so far. Launcher coming in, and here it comes. 1 bomb, 2 bombs, 1 Molotov, 2 Molotovs, and Qrow just keeps avoiding all these throwables. 2 bombs, 3 Molotovs.
He didn't get it. He didn't get it. Oh.
And Nick, very surprised he didn't get that.
Maybe he wasn't using them on purpose.
But here he goes with the hunting rifle, and he's going to switch up to the launcher at some point. I think he does in this
situation. Such a great tactic, doing what I'm doing, how you run out far from cover. They don't expect that. Like I said, they expect you to be aiming.
Qrow is trying to keep cover behind the ambulance.
This is where it gets intense. I can get him though. Well, he's gonna have to run. Otherwise, I'll get him.
But the good thing with the launcher is it does flush people out of cover.
That's why I had the advantage there, and I played it cool. I used cover.
And Nick here takes a 4 spawn lead.
See, I shouldn't have
3.5 minutes to go.
Run out of ammo now in the next
everyone
engagement.
thought he was gonna go through.
You know what? Let's get in
as
cover,
you can
though.
see, Qrow pulled it back.
He's gonna get me. Oh no!
Nice headshot on Nick as Nick was coming out of the spawn.
If I get eliminated,
pulls it back to 12-11 as we enter the last minute.
I'll tie this rather than lose it. I disagree.
Nick trapped in the spawn again. The scores are even. 30 seconds to go. It is 11-11.
Alright, let's do this.
And we've got time for one final encounter between these two.
Not making. This is it, man.
Who is gonna get it?
What are you shooting at?
I suppose if you watch the stream, you know already that Nick switches out to the launcher.
Game! I could leave him alive, but I'll execute him. I'll give him another chance to tie it up. I'll give him another chance. Let's run. Make it intense. Where's he at? He's going to respawn over there.
Qrow does respawn in, but I don't think there's enough time on the clock for either of them to get anything. And then you can see the timer runs out. Nick here 30 goes through to round 4.
Okay, there we go. We won. We won. That was intense. That was intense, guys.
Winner, winner, chicken dinner. that is your lot. Thank you for watching. Thank you to everyone that's participated, and we will see you all in round 4.
I will save you.